Ideal Protein is a doctor-designed, coach-led ketogenic weight loss protocol that uses food as medicine to empower you to lose weight and live your healthiest life.
And welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Weekly Show, a podcast brought to you by the Livingston Parish News. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news, and I'm joined today by a lady who used to work for the school board, I believe, and now you've moved.
Yes, I have.
And I'd like for you to go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. My name is Nikki Lavergne. I'm a Google Certified Innovator, and I have recently moved to the Livingston Parish Virtual School for 3rd through 5th grade as the assistant principal there.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, we're going to be talking a lot about this because last year, as we have discussed on several different mediums, our group podcast and with several other people, a lot of tough stuff in school because of COVID. You kind of turned into a rock star during that period because there were a lot of people, at home trying to do virtual school and that kind of thing. So I want to talk about that for a second. I want to start there because you are already attached to the IT department for the school board, correct?
Yes.
And so, it seemed like when COVID hit, that was like it was like my time to shine.
I felt like Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, this is for me.
Right.
I was ready. And so everything that we had been working on the past couple of years, it was just a matter of how do we push this out for all of our teachers to make their lives easier and to make this time easier.
And I know that there was some confusion, some tough times. There's a lot of teachers in this
So
parish,
many.
and some teachers caught on better than others. But then y'all had the summer to work through some more of it. So, I want to ask you when you were kind of in this moment with the IT department, with the school board, going through, was that when you chose to jump all in on this? Was that by choice, or did they kind of push you in that direction?
A little mixture of both.
Okay.
So before COVID hit, my boss, Carlos Williams, he would have a big idea and he would say, I want to focus on this. How can we do this? So my partner and I, Lynn Kennedy, we would look at the different things. How can we follow what he wants to do and also make teachers' lives easier? Because they get so much stuff pushed down every single year and it's overwhelming. And our goal was to let's make their lives easier. Let's make grading faster, these kind of things. And when this hit, everything that we had been focusing on was relevant and it worked. So it was stuff that some of them already knew and were rock stars at it already. So that was nice.
Yeah, I bet it was. Well, and I would imagine that when you're going through teaching like this, to have teachers and administrators and that who are already versed in this, it kind of gives you a bridge between you guys in the IT department.
For sure.
And
We were able to
users.
build a team. There was a team of teachers that were so helpful this entire time.
Well, that's great. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to say there were hiccups. There's always hiccups.
Always.
There's always going to be hiccups. But, when you're talking about roughly 2,700 faculty and, everybody's got to kind of be on the same page on this. Principals have to be able to analyze the data they're getting from these Google Classrooms. Teachers have to be able to function in it. But what we're talking about today is really your end-to-end user, which is students and parents.
Yes.
So you're here today to talk about the Google Guardians program. Whew, it's a little early for alliteration. The Google Guardians program. Give us a 32,000 foot. What is this about?
So it originally started as it's a Google Innovator program that Google for Education puts on. They choose a select amount of educators from across the world. And I believe there are 14 in the United States that were picked. And I was lucky enough to be one of them. And when I got a glimpse of who was in this group, I actually emailed them and was like, hey, I think this was a mistake. You have these authors and you have these big names. I'm Nikki from Livingston Parish, and he says, great, Nikki Lavergne, see you next week. And it was terrifying and overwhelming. And the purpose of it is to build confidence and teach us how to fail. And I learned a lot about failure. Fail forward, learn every single time you fail. And this past year, there's been a lot of failures where I felt like I've learned a lot from it. And this project that I was in charge of, or that I am in charge of, is the Google Guardian Academy. And I realized through this past year of COVID, I was struggling as a parent, and I have this amazing IT background. These parents who have no background are just lost. And I held an in-person training in Watson at Live Oak United Methodist Church. I had grandparents come in, parents who didn't have a computer at home come in, and I realized this was a problem. So with the help of Google, I've got mentors and I've got the Google for Education team backing me. We are hosting this online learning academy for parents and guardians to learn how to use these things that the kids are using every day. And the purpose of this is to help them help their student, build confidence in them and their student, and that confidence is going to be seen in the classroom and in their grades.
And that's a pretty cool thing because, we're all so used to, as parents, I have a incoming 8th grader, and sometimes you got to go back to school a little bit to give them a little helping hand to guide them through. So this is giving parents sort of that, well, you talked about Batman, putting some tools in their utility belt to continue helping their kids. So before we get into what parents can expect and what kids can expect, tell us a little bit about your new position and how this factors into that. And I do want to say real quick, folks, I know we all search things on Google. Maybe you have a business that has a Google page. Dealing with Google directly is not easy. They are, and that's not necessarily Google's fault. They're just huge.
They're massive.
And they grow so much every year. So being able to navigate this process is very impressive. So again, please tell us a little bit about your new position and how this came to be.
So at the beginning of last year, we had teachers who were teaching in person, and they were also trying to teach the kids at home. And it was a lot. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of stress. It was a rough semester. So around the Christmas break, Mr. Murphy, the superintendent, decided to do a program where all virtual kids, K through 8, would be moved to certain virtual teachers. And they would be regular teachers that would work part-time at night. And I've been out of the classroom for a couple of years now. So I said, you know what, here's my opportunity to get back in and see the problems that they're seeing. So I accepted one of the part-time positions. So I worked at night, working with the families, working with the students as a facilitator. And I learned a lot. And again, the same problem kept popping up. These parents want to help. They don't know how to help. They don't know how to start. It's overwhelming. And you can Google stuff and you're going to get 5,000 different things. And you don't know which one's right, which one's going to be helpful. And it's exhausting. Well, this position ended up working out so that I could move to the virtual school as an assistant principal there. And it's going to be completely different because this time we actually have those who have made the choice to be virtual, and we're actually doing a hybrid option. Unless COVID has any different changes, parents can drop their students, or they will drop their students off for 4 hours a day, twice a week. So that gives the parents a break. They have certified teachers on campus that are going to be teaching their kids. So if they've ever wanted to homeschool, this is a perfect opportunity because they don't have to learn anything. We do all the work for them, and they're just there as the learning guide and the helper.
Wow, okay.
It's really a really unique and awesome opportunity.
It is.
And it's giving me the opportunity to work with kids and parents again that I have missed so much.
So, and when you're talking about that, I mean, it just sounds like the perfect bridge.
It really is.
Into this. Now, you've already kind of talked about what it is, and it's going to be after hours, correct?
No, this is actually going to be full-time during the day.
Okay.
This is a full-blown school. We start when school starts. They log in at 8 a.m. They get their work done. We meet teachers, and it's Livingston Parish teachers. They're going to meet with them, and they learn their math from a Livingston Parish teacher, live via computer or live in person.
And what grades is this again?
This is 3rd through 5th right now, and we're hoping to expand in the future.
Gotcha. So that 3rd through 5th kind of the pilot program.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry, that was my confusion because I'd sort of pushed towards the Google Guardians. That's after hours, correct?
Yeah, Google Guardians. I'm sorry. Yes, that is after hours. And I'm ready to jump right in and talk about that if you are.
Yeah. So how'd you learn about it?
So I actually created it.
Okay.
Yep, this is my Innovator project. I've spent a year working with Google for Education. I knew that my audience was going to be parents and guardians and grandparents. And so this is what our final product has turned out to be. I'm very excited about it. Google is very excited about it. It is after hours. We have 3 sessions every night for a solid week. It is August 16th through 20th. First session starts at 5 o'clock. Last session is at 7 o'clock. And it's an assortment. One that I'm doing is Google Classroom for Beginners. I will walk parents through the entire platform. And they get tips and tricks on how to make sure an assignment's turned in. When the teacher says, click on the hamburger, what are they talking about? I'm giving them all of those insider tricks. And sometimes students will say, oh, but I turned it in. I didn't know it was blank. Well, we get to show them they really do know what they're doing.
Sure.
So it gives parents the upper hand.
Okay.
And I'm actually doing an English version. We have Carla from Livingston Parish doing a Spanish version. She's going to do the exact same class in fluent Spanish.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And we have Shuyi, who's also going to do the exact same class in fluent Mandarin.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So you can learn it in English, Spanish, or Chinese.
Absolutely.
That's pretty crazy. Before we get into, because you already brought up some of the class you'll be teaching, which is tips and tricks. You know, it is interesting. A lot of parents get involved with kids when you're talking about trying to help them through school and that kind of thing. For a solid week after hours is going to be tough for a lot of parents.
Absolutely.
So when a parent comes to you and says, you know, Nikki, I really want to participate in this. I'm just, you know, I'm busy all day. You're asking me to come basically straight there, and we'll get to where there is in a second. But you're asking me to come straight there after work. Why? Why am I going to do this? What's that 2-minute elevator speech that you give them?
So I'm a parent too, and I know that scheduling out 3 hours in the evening times is impossible, which is why this whole thing is virtual and it is recorded. You can choose to attend live, or you can watch whenever is convenient for you.
Okay. So, and that's pretty simple.
Yes, so simple.
It doesn't even have to be 2 minutes. So, you know, when, first and foremost, where is it?
I have a website.
Okay.
It is going to be posted with this podcast, and it is bit.ly/GGuardians, all lowercase, simple. And we have a schedule posted there, an assortment of classes. Click the one you want. If you want to watch it that day at that time, that means it will be live and you can ask the presenter questions.
Okay. So I wanted to get into that. You know, I know when you sent me some material, so I could kind of look at it before we got started. And one of the things you did say was that there will be engagement with the presenters.
Yes, there is.
Each different day. So are you leading it off?
I am. I will be facilitating each and every one of them. I'll be welcoming and introducing our speakers. We have some fantastic ones. And to answer your previous question, it's all going to be hosted on YouTube.
Okay.
So everyone has that app on their phone, or they have it accessible on their computers. It's nothing fancy, no app, nothing special. It is click the link, it opens YouTube, and you can watch. And to ask questions, you just type in the comments in YouTube, and we can answer them as we go.
Okay. So it's not just, you know, hey, it's this easy to get on YouTube. It's you don't even have to go somewhere outside of the comfort of your own home.
Not at all. You don't have to get dressed, look cute, nothing. You can watch it in your rollers.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not like a Zoom meeting where you got to be, you know, business up top and
no
casual
one will
underneath.
see you at all.
Okay, so you're just watching.
You're just watching and typing in your questions if you have any.
Gotcha. So, okay, so you're day one, and you're going to be going over tips, tricks, and sort of the basics of Google Classroom.
Yep.
Can you walk us through what people can expect days 2 through 5?
Yeah, so every day's got 3 sessions with the exception of the first one. The sessions are going to last between 30 to 45 minutes. And it's a variety. If you know one thing, don't watch it. It is just click on what you need. We've got things, Windows 10. Livingston Parish uses Windows 10 devices in their schools. Your kid is probably going to be bringing one home at some point. How do you work it? We've got a class for that. If you have a Chromebook at home and you want to know the tips and tricks, we've got a class for that. A lot of teachers assigned work using the Cami software. We have a class for that. In fact, that one's going to be by one of the Teacher of the Year finalists from another parish. She is fantastic, and she's going to be going over that. We actually have a counselor, Jared Hegwood, here in Livingston Parish, who's going to be doing a 30 to 45-minute session on the teenage brain and what you can expect when you have to have conversations with your kids and you have to discipline your children, what works, what doesn't work. And I am personally very excited about attending that class.
Yes, I have 3 stepchildren. One is 21, one 18, and one is 13, going to be 14, going in 8th grade.
So you're going to be watching that class.
Yes, I probably need to, especially me and the middle one. We bumped heads a lot. Now, so moving through the week, is this, can parents kind of expect everything to build on itself, right? So you're starting with that Google Classroom, learning about it, and everything after that will kind of be built like math. It builds from addition and subtraction and goes from there, right?
Well, I will be honest, Google Classroom is kind of the foundation. Everything else is individual on its own.
Okay.
So we're teaching how to use forums. They don't even need Google Classroom to learn how to use forums.
Sure.
How to use a Google Drive, how to save your documents. It's all little things that parents need to know and want to know how to do, and that are very simple, and we're there to walk you through it. But no, you don't have to attend day 1 to attend day 5.
Okay.
All of those are standalone.
You brought something up when you and I were going back and forth about this via email before you came in to do this, and you talked about, Google is a global company, but and most importantly, your work with them has been within a global community.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, why that benefits these parents here in Livingston Parish.
So originally when it started, I was thinking, I'm going to do this for my parish. And then, I got approached and they said, why don't you do it for South Louisiana? And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. Well, then I got an email that said, hey, the Global Google Educator Group is picking this up. We want you to stream live from our stuff straight to YouTube, and we're promoting it out internationally. And I said, okay, here we go. And that was very exciting, terrifying as well. But so much has happened since then. I'm getting emails from all over the world, Italy, Mexico, South America, Canada. They're excited. Google is a uniform platform. It's the same all over the world. So if a parent is, let's say, in the military and they foresee a move in their future, Google Classroom is going to stay the same. And this really benefits in that you get it here in Livingston, and we've got Livingston Parish teachers who are now being broadcasted internationally. And it really gives us as a parish the opportunity to show the world how great we really are.
Sure. And getting that feedback too.
Yes, we're going to get, and the feedback so far has been phenomenal. People are excited about it. And the most thing they're excited about is they can watch it live, or because the time zones are different, I had to go change everything to say Central Standard Time, because originally I was thinking 7 o'clock. Well, now people from California are coming to watch, and people from, so if it's in the middle of the night and they can't watch it, they can watch it the next day. So the whole live being recorded, that whole thing has been great.
Sure. So as you've gone through this, as you've worked with Google to develop this program, what was, in your opinion, because I want to pick up on what you said at the beginning, fail, learn how to fail, fail forward.
Mm-hmm.
What was the best failure you experienced?
There's so many. Failure to recognize my own abilities.
Okay.
I self-confidence. It's something that I personally struggle with. And I told you, I emailed the director, I think you might have made a mistake. I see the people you've picked for this program. I don't think you meant to get me. And he said, I meant to get you. See you next week. And it was one of those, I've allowed myself to fail before I even gave myself a chance. I was giving him the opportunity to go ahead and reject me before I even gave myself the opportunity to try anything.
Sure.
And I found myself wanting to do that. This is a dumb idea. This is terrible. I didn't give myself a chance. And I was causing more failures than actual trying was. And so I guess that's more of a personal lesson that I've learned. But I think a lot of people could benefit from the same thing. You don't know until you try.
Right.
And I put myself out there, took a deep breath, cannonballed in, and this has been life-changing. It really has.
Has your participation in this program been one of the bigger catalysts in your move from the school board to working at the Southeastern Livingston, I guess is what they call it?
The Literacy and Technology Center. It's the partnership. Yeah, absolutely. This let me realize that I've loved working with teachers. I love it. I have missed working with parents. I've missed working with students. And this opportunity allows me to do all of those things. And this volunteer work with Google allows me to, again, give teachers resources that they can send to their parents, and give schools, hey, this is an opportunity you can send out to your parents and educate them so that you don't have to do this and this doesn't have to be on your plate.
Right.
And then it gives parents the power to help their students.
So when we're talking about things of this nature in terms of Google and online classes and things of that nature, we also have to talk about social media. The school board has done a better job of having a social media presence, but you kind of have a brand of your own, I guess you can say, on social media. You talk a lot about these things that you've been doing. Where I don't want to flood you with new friends or followers or anything, but I mean, where can people find you online?
So a lot of my Google stuff and all of my education stuff. So if you're an educator, find me on Twitter at Lavergne Nikki. It's that simple. Just swap my name around. And yes, I am on Facebook. I do broadcast a lot of this stuff out there. And again, it's just Nikki Johnson Lavergne. You can find me. And I've made a lot of friends, a lot of connections from all over the world that have been so supportive of this and have been, how can I help? How can I do this? What can I do for you? And the resources that they have been phenomenal. And I've just passed those on to the teachers whenever I get them.
Sure. I don't want to blow your head up too big, but let's say this is a success, which I imagine it will be. Google very rarely participates in things that they can't at least mold into something. What would you envision being the next steps?
And this is one of those things where we're going to have to see. It's a fail forward thing. Let's see how this goes, and then I'll make a next jump. I want to do parent certifications. I want parents to feel confident and be like, yes, I know what I'm doing. And they can look at their kid and say, I know how to help you. Right. To me, that's the most important. And I'm hoping that this will slowly turn into an annual thing. And Google has hinted that that might be a possibility. They're very excited to see how this works. We meet again the week before, and I am nervous, but I'm excited. And I do want to invite all viewers, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles. You don't even have to have a kid. You can be a kid in school. I feel like you're going to learn something and you're going to find benefit from this.
Okay. So let's take a real quick minute, bring it all back together. Give us the name, the time, and how exactly they can access it.
Okay. So it is called the Google Guardian Online Learning Academy. Our goal is to help parents and guardians feel confident helping their students at home. And that in turn builds confidence in the classroom so that our kids perform better and just feel better about themselves. To find this, the website is so bit.ly/G-Guardians, all lowercase. And there you can find parent resources, such as the presentations we're posting them all there so parents can reference back to them later. We've got flyers for schools to hand out to their parents. We have social media cards that you can copy, paste on your social media and advertise that you want to invite people to come. And we have our presenter profiles. There are people from Livingston Parish and beyond. We've got some from Texas. We've got some rock stars on there that take a look, see who all is going to be there. And we're excited and we hope to see everyone there.
Date and time.
August 16th through 20th. Sessions start at 5. There's one at 5, one at 6, and one at 7.
Every night, right?
Every night, 30 to 45 minutes. And again, can't make it? That's fine. You can watch it at your convenience in your PJs.
It will be on YouTube, correct?
On YouTube. You can get the schedule from the site, but if you search Google Guardians on YouTube, it will pop up there as well.
Very cool. And remember, you can also, if you are active during the session, you can comment on the video and
comment, ask questions. Our presenters are prepared to answer anything, and I will be there to pop in and be like, hey, we've got a question from so-and-so. How do you do this? My kid says this happens. Why is that? Anything, any experience that you've had, bring it to the table, and we will help you work through it.
Very good. And one last time, ma'am, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself real quick.
Easy peasy. I am Nikki Lavergne, certified Google Innovator and assistant principal of the 3rd through 5th grade virtual school here in Livingston Parish.
And thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you taking the time this morning.
Thank you.
And I think we got through that alliterative name pretty well, considering it's about 9:30. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining and watching. If you are a parent or a student, please remember this is important. It's a good thing to get a grasp on this because I wanted to add sort of a personal anecdote. When your kids get to high school, a lot of high school teachers use Google Classroom. So building this foundation early in their educational track is really a good thing. And especially, I don't want to go too far, but I know that I have one in college, and some of his teachers use Google Classroom
Yes, they
too.
do.
So starting it off, learning about it, being able to help your child, getting them ready for those later grades, great program. So again, that's coming up mid-August. You can go check it out. We will have the link in the comments of this video, and it'll flash up real big
Yeah.
when she talks about it. So we want to remind you folks that the news is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get that in your mailbox. We're also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. I want to thank my guest one last time for joining us this morning, brought the high energy here to the news, and we want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen. We do hope if you're a parent or a student, you participate, and we are going to see you next time.